Study Session 13. Punctuation Marks. Introduction. One major problem with students' writings is the seeming neglect or the inappropriate use of punctuation marks. Punctuation marks can be compared to a manual for users of a machine. Just as a manual shows how one uses a machine, punctuation marks show how one should read an essay. It enables one to arrive at the meaning intended by the author. In this lecture, we explore the basic forms of punctuation marks. Objectives. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to use the punctuation marks properly. Pretest. Apart from the end of a complete sentence, where else can we use the full stop? Number 2. What punctuation marks are used to indicate a short pause, a long pause, a raised voice, and intermittent pauses? Number 3. How do parentheses differ from brackets? Number 4. Where do we use colons and semicolons? Punctuation marks refer to the signs we insert into phrases and sentences in a composition. It directs the way words, phrases, and sentences should be read. Punctuation marks also stand for the voice modulations in speech. When speaking, we can have slight or long pauses, and we can raise our voices as in questions or exclamations. These voice signals are converted to signs when we put our thoughts on paper as compositions. The signals then represent the voice cues we could have used to make people understand our speech if we were to deliver a speech or narrate a story. The observation and insertion of these signals in our compositions make it clearer and easier for readers to read and understand. Let us discuss the salient ones. Capital letter. The capital letter is used 1. To start new sentences. A. He is my friend. B. Say your prayers now. Number 2. To start proper nouns. Biliri, Makodi, Abu, Sango, etc. 3. For abbreviations. K.O. Amadi, E.F. Taiwo, U.N.O, C.A.F, etc. 4. For the pronoun I. Number 5. All major words in the title of a book or a poem. The Trials of Brother Jero, A Tale of Two Cities, I Thank You, God. Number 6. For names of God and pronouns referring to Him. Allah, Osanobua, Olodumare, etc. The comma. This sign represents a slight pause in the middle of a sentence. It occurs at many points in different sentences. Here are some of them. 1. To separate words in a sequence. A. Asebe bought rice, beans, yam, and guinea corn. B. Helen, Kike, Laraba, Oyi, and Vivian are intimate friends. Number 2. To separate appositive words and parenthetical elements from their respective subjects. A. Helen, my friend, lives in Katungo. B. General Abubakar, the former head of state, was awarded 2 honorary degrees in 2006. C. The problem, if you ask me, is lack of capital. In examples A and B, the commas set off appositive words, while in C, they set off parenthetical words. 3. To separate transitional words from the main sentence. A. In addition, he has decided to seize Jimo's car. B. The man, however, has refused to sell it. Number 4. To separate main clauses joined by conjunctions. A. Boyi got married in 1992, and so did Khadija. B. We called the man, but he refused to answer. Note that the comma is unnecessary if both clauses have the same subject, as in, Aisha washed the plates and swept the sitting room. Number 5. To separate subordinate clauses from adjoining main clauses. A. Although Nkem was late, she was not punished. B. As there was fuel scarcity in the country, many people went to their destinations on foot. 6. To separate phrases and clauses when each occurs in a sequence in a sentence. A. Bede has some plates, several cups, many clothes, and a traveling bag. B. Joy sowed the grains, weeded the field, harvested the crop, threshed it, and stored it. Number 7. In question tags. A. Awa is brilliant, isn't he? Yes, he is. B. Insiegbe bought the books, didn't she? No, she didn't. 8. In addresses and salutations. A. D74, Egbeidi Street, Ilesha. B. P.O. Box 102, UIPO, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. C. Dear Sir, Madam, Dear Miss Smith, etc. The full stop. The full stop or period is a major pause. These are its functions. 1. It marks the end of a complete sentence. 2. It is used after abbreviations as in P.O. Box, PMB, M.A. Martins, but it is optional in some cases such as Prof. Jibril, Reverend, Kuka, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, Mrs. Phillips. Notice that universally accepted abbreviations need no punctuation. WHO, WAEC, NECO, OPEC, etc. 3. 3 full stops are used to indicate a break or an omission in a sentence. A. The normal conquest of England in 1066 AD had a great influence on the English language. For some centuries later, English lost its role to Latin and French. Latin was the language of scholarship, the church, and international communication. B. The question has been answered, but while the dots in A show omission, those in B indicate a break in the sentence. Question marks. The question mark indicates a long pause. The mark is put at the end of a direct question, as in 1. What happened? 2. Who is there? 3. He is there. 4. Can you climb that tree? In some cases, a polite request that is written in form of a question may have a question mark. 1. Will you sit down? 2. Would you please send the file to my table? Hyphen. The hyphen is a sign for joining parts of the same words. It can occur in words that are merged with affixes, such as coordinate, ex-president, neocolonization, or in compound words such as takeoff, president-elect, newly admitted, 25, feeble-minded, etc. It is also used to indicate that a word has been broken into two at the end of a line, because the remaining space on the line is not sufficient for the whole word. Such words are broken along syllable boundaries and a hyphen is attached at the end of the first part, as in teacher, tailor, important, examination, etc. Dash. A hyphen must be distinguished from a dash. A dash does not join words, but rather serves as parenthesis. 1. His father caught him smoking, and you know what that means. 2. The old woman fell. What a pity, and broke a leg. 3. This boy, I think he's foolish, bought a fairly used shirt for 2,000 naira. A dash can also be used to introduce a list of items. James bought many things, a book, 2 pots, and a stove. Brackets or parentheses. These are demarcations put before and after information that is not directly required in a sentence. It is, however, an addition to the theme. Sometimes it is an afterthought. E.g., A. The big fool. Or what else is he? Paid for a carton of worthless stone. B. Harry lost his money to gamblers. Served him right. And walked the distance home. Apostrophe. An apostrophe is a sign that shows an omission of letters in words such as can't, cannot, won't, will not, his, he is, or he has. We'd, we had, we would, etc. It also shows possession as in A. Boys' quarters, quarters for boys. B. Daddy's car, a car belonging to Daddy. C. John's book, a book belonging to John. Note the following: Charles's car, St. Lawrence's school. It can also be used with indefinite pronouns, one's friend, everyone's business, to separate the plural s from name of a letter or of a number. A. There were 4 60s and 3 70s in the class. B. There were 10 A's and 50 B's in the result. The difference in both uses is that while it shows omission of letters in the first group, it shows possession in the second, and no letter is lost in it. Quotation marks. These are marks put before and after direct quotations from speakers, books, etc. When direct quotations are transferred into your compositions, you must put them in quotation marks. This is to show that they are not your own original statements or ideas. E.g., she said, "Shut up or I'll beat you." "Come here," said the class teacher. You must have noted that quotation marks are either in the single or double form. Either of these can be used, but you must be consistent in using whichever you choose. The colon. The colon is a major pause, but it is used 1. To list items in a series, as in, candidates must come with the following items: mosquito nets, touchlight, white PE shorts, singlet, pajamas, and pillowcases. 2. To lay emphasis on and draw attention to a specific statement. What the lecturer wants is simple: submit your assignment on time. The problem is this: who will face the angry mob? Number 3. To explain given information. Human rights and the death penalty. Do they really conflict? Semicolon. This is a higher pause than the colon. It is used 1. To separate words in a series, especially when those contain commas in complex sentences. Witness. Aduku saw Douglas the boxer, Carl Lewis the sprinter, Mighty Eagle the wrestler, and George Bush the American president. 2. To separate independent sentences which have related ideas, as in, Everyone, even her closest friend, felt disappointed. However, Jane was undaunted. Italics, bold, underlining. These are devised and used when you type on a typewriter or a computer. These can be used 1. To point attention to important items such as topics and subtopics. 2. To distinguish between author's text and borrowed words. And 3. To separate titles of books from ordinary text. Mechanics. Having mastered the use of language and expression elements in the previous sections, it is pertinent to guard against certain factors that may destroy your composition. These are all put together as the mechanics of language. Mechanics refer to issues of punctuation, spelling, and grammatical relations. We have discussed punctuations above. We only need to concentrate on the spelling and grammar aspects. Spellings are very important in language use. There is, for instance, a great difference between rich and rich, fit, fit and fit, portable and portable, sit and sit, pick and pick, etc. You should not use one instead of the other. Otherwise, you have committed an error of wrong word choice. You should also take note of words with deceptive spellings. Such words may or may not feature double and single letters together, as in occasion, committee, appoint, dining, dinner, etc. Such words must be mastered. In addition, words which have EI or IE should be studied and mastered. The words include achieve, believe, sieve, chief, brief, grief, reprieve, conceive, receive, perceive, deceive, etc. Grammatical relations are also important. Tense, distinctions, and concord relations take the first slot, as they are relevant to the understanding of your composition. Also, they are very easy to mix up. So, the knowledge of grammar is a necessary tool for writing compositions. On a final note, you should endeavor to revise your composition to ensure that everything that you have put there is all right. This exercise reviews the mistakes and the slips of the pen, wherever they may be. All this reduces mechanical errors in your composition. Study session summary. In this lecture, we have examined the different forms of punctuation marks we use to aid the flow of thought in written English compositions. In the process, we examined capitalization, the comma, the full stop, the question marks, the hyphen, the dash, the brackets or parenthesis, the apostrophe, the colon, the semicolon, italicization, bolding, and underlining. We also briefly discussed the mechanics of English language. And that ends study session 13. Thank you for listening.